I am your hostess, Lynn Woods, licensed massage therapist, Dolphin NPS practitioner, founder and creator of Rooted Way Kinetics, the somatic movement for Black and melanated bodies. I am so excited to be talking about a topic that is very much near and dear to my heart, and it's being afraid, being scared, being scared. Um, as a Black woman, as a woman in general, I think all too often people conflate what being afraid looks like and still having to move through it. And I somehow think that's in part how we developed the strong Black woman trope, or we were given it. I'm not even going to say that we developed it, we were given that trope. And it wears on us. I know it wears on me because a lot of times when people are saying that I'm strong, I don't necessarily feel strong. I feel very much afraid. So, anyway, I digress. That is a sidebar of where I was going with this video, but it did come up for me as I was recording this video. So, anyway, in being scared and talking about fears and owning them so we can address them and still do the thing that we need to do, I have a few topics, a few points that I'm going to use to stay abreast of this video because I don't want it to be too long either. I kind of like the videos that are short, kind of to the point and direct. So if that's something you're interested in, or maybe if you feel like you want a longer form of content, let me know. I will delve deeper as a somatic therapist. Yeah, my life is all about the deeper meaning or the more intrinsic to the issue. So, anyway, let's get into it. In being afraid or even in being scared is acknowledging that you're afraid. And like I said, that as a Black woman, I think a lot of times, I know in fact, we acknowledge our fear and it just doesn't come off as that because we know that we can't let fear lead us anywhere. It doesn't lead us anywhere. Um, we really don't even get a chance to rest with fear because as soon as something I feel like fearful comes up, we address it. Oh, situation, I am afraid, but I still have to deal with it. And I think that is in part what contributes to our self neglect. And I say self neglect because it took me a long time to condition myself out of self neglect and to listen to myself. Um, but being afraid, being scared, owning my fear differently, especially to friends and family who think that I have everything together. And that's just the thing. I remember vehemently telling people or um because I didn't have the vocabulary for like, hey, I'm just afraid. Don't get me wrong. I know words, but fear didn't always come out as I'm afraid. It came out as, oh, my supervisor is really, really, really on me, or I'm starting a new job. I don't know what they're going to expect of me. And it also had a visceral feeling to it. Fear has a visceral feeling, and it's the little quake in my lower belly, right? Or at least for me. Um, Fear will whelp up into my throat, and I would have to kind of just swallow it back down. Like, think about the first day on a new job fear. When I was with my first massage client, fear, fear, being afraid, and I had to swallow it and move through it. So that is a way that I feel like as Black women people conflate what our fear and being afraid looks like, because we know that we still have to do the damn thing in spite of the fear. And so um I think looking at what and how we process our fear looks like will allow us a little bit more grace in those situations, because acknowledging fear and then either sitting with fear or moving through makes the difference with fear and being afraid. And being afraid shows up is um, in the form of procrastination. When dealing in life, in our healing journey, our wellness journey, it is not linear. The plans that we have are not linear. Even when I'm speaking with my mentor clients, I tell them to write their outlines in pencil. And the reason why I say to write it in pencil or in something that you can erase is because we sometimes get attached to following this regimented routine or this regimented path. And when there's a deviation from what we've written on the outline, we don't know how to handle it. We're now off of the beaten path that we've written for ourselves, thus creating another form of fear, or fear from a different place, because now your fear is coming from, I had these plans, it was supposed to go like this, and now I'm here. So what now? And you're sitting in your aftermath of fear. So it's not linear. Um Fear and being afraid isn't linear. Being afraid, it doesn't wait, because your fear can cause you to wait because you're stuck waiting on perfect. You're stuck waiting on the right moment. You're stuck waiting on this inevitable place that may never come, because there is not going to necessarily be the perfect time if you don't create one. So that is another way that fear and being afraid can be framed differently for how you're processing things and how you're handling things. You don't have to have it all together. That project that you're waiting on, you don't have to have it all together. That plan that you're working on, that book that you're thinking about writing, you don't have to have it all together. And a part of what's making you think you have to have it all together is fear. And it becomes a feedback loop. So when you're in your moment of, I don't have it all, note that that is perfectionism, and you don't have to have it all together. That's just another form of fear that's popping up and rearing its ugly head. And you don't have to deal with that. And so now I'm to the part to where I explain to you how fear and being afraid remains trapped in your body, because your body keeps score. Contrary to what you believe and what we believe, we think that we've just gotten over it and we've dealt with it, but not really, not fully. When you're afraid, and if you tend to always lean into or lead with your fear, it's like working a muscle. It's like telling your nervous system, which is that muscle, that this is my threshold and I'm going to stop here. When I started doing these YouTube videos, I had this entire thing about getting them perfect, doing them just right. And it's not that I don't care about the quality of the videos that I'm making or the intention that I'm putting into it. I was letting my perfectionism, my fear of being seen, of being laughed at, of people picking apart my production, how I was getting things done as a way of stopping me. And these things hadn't even happened yet, but it was in my own mind. It was in my own doing. And my body and I, my nervous system and I, were doing that together to me. And so now when I do my videos, I focus on doing them, even if I stumble a little bit over my words, even if I have to edit out a little bit, um, just a multitude of things. I give myself the grace of learning through this process. Don't get hung up on having it all together. I'm learning each video, each time I do this, and that is something that I want to impart upon all of you in whatever it is that you're afraid of. Keeping up with how you respond to your fears. I ask myself every time I do a video how it will land, as opposed to, are they picking apart my background? And you may be. I know sometimes when I look at the videos I do, that's why things change, but that's why we learn as we grow. And I just want to say that don't let your fear stop you. Don't let it limit you. Don't let it put an imprint in your body that you're going to track and then learn to move from, because eventually you're going to have to do those things anyway. Believe it or not, one of my biggest fears is public speaking. Let that sink in. And here I am making YouTube videos, trying my best to keep eye contact with the camera, with the actual camera and not myself in the screen. But I'm doing it, and at least I'm trying. But every time I do a video, every time I share a little bit of my story, I'm coaching my nervous system like a muscle to move past it until I get to the point to where I'm comfortable and satisfied with myself. So I want to impart on you, if you're scared, do it anyway. Nobody else can do it like you. Nobody else is going to do it like you. Hell, it's not even theirs. It's yours. Do it scared, but do it anyway. You got this. If any of my message resonates with you, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would love to have you here in the collective where we focus on healing and wellness for Black women.